Hey everybody, Bill in Virginia. Welcome back. So today we are starting a new series. We are going to be working on a new end scale layout named the Piedmont and Blue Ridge Railway. So a little history on this. This is going to be an end scale layout. You can see the design here. So the backstory on this one is a little while ago, had a gentleman who lives in Richmond reach out to me. He's a viewer of this channel named Jerry. And we got talking, and he has this end scale layout that he is wanting to build. He and his wife live in a retirement apartment, and there were certain things on building and construction of the layout Jerry just wasn't comfortable doing. And there are things that he really enjoys, including building buildings. So we got talking, and I'm going to do major construction on this, and then assist with anything else that Jerry needs when we get to landscaping, ballasting. We were talking, providing some clinics to his family, his wife, and some others to build trees. You know how I love to build trees. I'm more than happy to show others on how to build trees. So Jerry has put together this, and today he was over and dropped off a variety of supplies, and we'll kind of walk through that here in just a second. But the next segment is going to be showing this. He did a full-scale, one-to-one representation of this layout. Now he has taken the pieces of sectional track that I'll show in the box here in a little bit, and laid it out so that it looks like everything's going to work out pretty well. As everybody knows, when we're building layouts, there's always going to be some minor adjustments. So I'll show that in just a second. The construction of it is going to be very similar to what I've done on my HO scale. So I've got my 1x3s, 1x2s. 1x3s are going to be the outside of this layout. So they will be the exterior of this 31-inch wide total end scale layout. Notice that at the corners, he's got them clipped, and I will clip those during the construction. Just makes it a little bit less of a knee knock or a tummy rub, depends upon how high the layout's going to be. So these will be for the exterior. These are going to be the interior bracing. Again, like what I've done on the HO scale, is I will have them running across. The goal is to make this layout fairly light so that Jerry and wife can move it as they need. They're going to be setting it on a cabinet that a friend of his has already built. So it'll be out of the way, but easily portable, so they can move it in and around and do whatever they need to do with it. I will drill holes as I put these cross pieces together, just like I've done on the HO scale, so that wires can be fed through, so that there's nothing really on the bottom that's going to be hanging or loose on that. Over the course of this weekend, I'm hoping tomorrow to get the pieces cut and get the frame done. I'm waiting on Jerry to let me know how thick of the pink foam board that he is wanting. If he's wanting a 2-inch or a 1.5 inch or a 1 inch, that will make the reveal either like this above the 1x3 or that, or basically flush. You know, he and I were talking, and I personally would go with a little bit higher so that you can make some sloping. You know, you can have a little bit of relief that you can just carve on the edge of the layout. There's some other things in here. There's going to be some view blocks on the original plans. We're going to put those in later. Jerry's going to be building the buildings. We're going to be having some fun. It should not take too long to get the frame built, get the pink foam board added, take the track and lay this out and put it together and give it a temporary power supply to just make sure that everything runs and flows, and Jerry will be over and we'll make sure that it operates the way that he wants it to operate. Then I'll go back in, mark off where all the tracks are, all of that, lay down cork road bed, add a bunch of feeders. Right now, Jerry's thinking about where he is wanting blocking, or if he wants blocking. He's planning on just running 1, maybe 2 engines. So probably a couple of electrical blocks just to isolate some of this. But again, it's his layout. You know, Jerry's going to make the decisions. I'm just going to help him bring the layout to life. So I'll show you a little bit of the stuff that he's brought over that's going to go into this. And next few segments after that should be on the construction phase already for this. So what we have here is a full 1-to-1 scale rendering of how the N-scale layout is going to look. Jerry brought this over today along with the other materials, and Jerry, I give you credit for taking the time to blow everything up and then do a cut and paste, and you did a good job. I would not have the time or patience to do this, but this is extremely helpful. So you get a sense of the size of it. You know, the boards over here are 8 feet, so you know it's 6 something. It looks like 6.5. I would have to measure, and I've got the information Jerry's provided. I just don't remember it right off the top of my head. But this gives a good view of the of the layout. You can see he's even got it marked where the corners are nipped off. This is going to be a fun layout. When Jerry first approached me and we were looking at the plans, you know, for an N scale, this has got a lot going for it. You know, it's got a good amount of run. It has, you know, some passing sidings if he does want to do, you know, have some trains staged to do different things. It's got a fair amount of switching, and it's based on a prototype. So some of this is from areas that Jerry has seen and that he's wanting to incorporate in his layout. So this is really good. Once I get the framework done and I get the pink foam board in, I will be able to put this over the top of the pink foam board, you know, and use this as a guide. As I've done on just about all of my layouts that I've built, you know, I will take some of the critical components, which on Jerry's layout are in the center here, where you've got the diamonds, you've got the double track, and you've got some of these switches. That will be the key point for which all of the track will be assembled on the pink foam board. You know, we'll get it put together and make sure that everything fits and that the track is in really good shape. And we'll run trains, you know, just a feeder tied into it someplace to just make sure that everything runs smooth. Look for any hesitations, any kinks, any bends that really just don't look normal, and then we can make some adjustments with that. You'll also notice on some of the plans, like right here, you've got a switch that does a runoff, and there's a track over there that does a runoff. This is all intentional. You know, Jerry wanted to give that perception that you've got trains going another direction. This switch, it will be there, but it won't be used. This will be sort of dead-ended here. You know, the framework will run pretty darn close here. Again, 31 inches wide. So Jerry has really thought this through and has come up with a very workable plan that'll provide good operation, easy access, scenic details, as well as a lot of building of buildings, which Jerry enjoys. So I'll show you just a little bit of what he's brought over for track and other stuff, and then tomorrow I get started building. So Jerry has come well prepared and dropped off a variety of materials for his layout. So over here we've got a lot of flex track as well as Midwest cork products for putting up the roadbed. Jerry and I were talking after looking at his plan, and in certain areas where it makes sense to put in a single piece of flex track or, you know, a section of flex track, that's what we're going to do. So something like this siding here, he's got ample amounts of sectional track. So when I'm putting this out and doing the put together for the first time, I will use the sectional track so that we can get you know, an excellent idea of where everything's going to fall, so I can do markings on the pink foam board. Going back, once we do the final assembly, you know, flex track can go into that same location. Likewise up here, you know, some of these areas where you've got a little bit more sectional track, where it makes sense to take some out and put in flex track, you know, we'll do that. It'll reduce the number of joints that we need, you know, better electrical connectivity, all of the things that we're all after to make a rock solid layout. Jerry also brought over a really good supply of sectional track and other pieces to help with the layout. And he is going with code 80. So we've got the double crossovers, a wide variety of different sectional track straights and curves. He has everything laid out on his plan with what the curvature is, so we know what sections are go together to make what he's after. And that's what we'll use when this goes on the pink foam board for the first time, to make sure that everything is going to work and everything aligns well. Jerry also brought over a variety of wire. This is going to be more than enough to do the feeders and anything else that we're after on this. I've got some bigger wire that we can use for the bus. We're only going to need, not that many feet of it. So this is really good. Also in the box are the Pico switches. So he's got those marked as well for the sizes that he wants to use. So really good for that. More switches, curves, more curves. Everything that we need and then some to do the layout construction from a track perspective. Plenty in here. What we'll do is, once I get it put together, we're good with the plan, we've got the cork road bed down, and we're ready to go to town, actually adhering the track to the bench work. I will take a lot of those rail joiners and I will make feeders out of them. We won't go every piece by any stretch, but we'll have enough feeders in areas here where it makes sense to put them in around the layout so that he's got a good consistent power supply. And if we do blocks, we'll be able to isolate those and again, be able to have a nice layout for him that we shouldn't have any electrical problems. And those Pico switches, posi-lock, so they're going to be solid against the stock rails and provide good electrical connectivity. So that's the plan. Next thing will be to start building this and putting it together. So that should be the next segment. Me outside starting to do some cutting. Well, I checked the time on this video already, and you know what? It's long enough. You can see I am already starting on Jerry's project. So I will pick up where I'm at on the next video. So keep having fun on your layouts. Until next time.